Hello, lovely, lovely people. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you can hear me clearly, you can see me clearly. Is everything okay? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and see me clearly, if that's okay. I just want to make sure that the sound and picture is okay. Very nice. Hello. Nice to see you all. Hello. So hopefully everybody can see and hear me. Thank you, Quick Speak. Nice of you to give me that thumbs up. I see you clearly. Lovely. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Thank you. Good evening. I hope that you're all well, and I hope you've had a very good week and weekend so far. You might have noticed, if you're in the UK, you might have noticed that today, in certain central areas of the city, there have been a certain kind of ceremony going on. And that ceremony is to, I'm going to ask you, does anybody know what this ceremony is for today? Today is a very important day in the culture and the history of the UK. Does anybody know why is today, Sunday, an important day? Does anybody know that in the UK? Anybody? No? Unfortunately, no. Remembrance, Sarah. Very good. Well done. Remembrance Day. Thank you. Hello. Yes, so today is Remembrance Sunday. And today what we do, or what we did, because the day is almost over, what we did today was try to remember all the soldiers that fought in the Second World War to protect England against Germany. All of the soldiers. So we try and remember them if they have passed away. If some of them are still alive, obviously we respect them very much. The main ceremony is tomorrow, which is 11th of November. 11th of November. And if you live in England, you will see tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, there will be 1 minute silence. Okay. If you work somewhere official, there will usually be 1 minute silence, and that's just out of respect for soldiers in the Second World War. Yeah, so that's just for you to know. So today was Remembrance Sunday, and tomorrow, 11 o'clock in the morning, 11th of the 11th, at 11 o'clock, there will be 1 minute silence. Okay, that's just if you're not sure. Is it going to be in Scotland as well? I believe it's in the UK. It's in the whole of the UK. Yes, not just England, sorry. It's in the whole of the UK. And this is how... people mark their gratitude from the soldiers that fought in the war. A lot of them paid with their lives to protect the country and protect their loved ones. So this is how we mark that day every single year. In Canada as well, in many countries, yes, absolutely, not just the UK, in Canada as well, in the US as well, absolutely. 11 a.m, Sarah, 11 a.m, yes. So it's all the countries. I'm just mentioning the UK, but obviously it happens in other countries as well. Tomorrow is Remembrance Day in Canada, yes. First World or Second World? So this is to do with the Second World War that ended 1945. So this is remembering that, yeah? So Second World War. I guess it's obviously remembering those who fell during the First World War as well, because obviously those were important soldiers as well. But a lot of the people that they talk about, and sometimes they have guests coming and talking, these are people from the Second World War. Those from the First World War might not be alive today. but there are just maybe a handful of soldiers who fought in the Second World War, and they're still alive today. And we love to hear about their stories and to thank them, really. Thank you for, for your service, and thank you for protecting your country. Yeah, absolutely. I think this respect will happen in Turkey because of their president. Okay. Why did they choose this day? That's a good question. I believe it's on the 11th of November, 11/11, that they declared that that the war is over and that Germany has lost and the UK, Europe, Canada, US have won. I believe it was on this day that they declared it. Excuse me. If you're trying to contact me, please use Instagram DM. I'm trying to be a good girl. I'm trying to answer everybody's message at the end of the night. So if you can try and send me a message on my DM. If not, you can email me, and I've got the information on my website as well. Okay? Lovely. So thank you all very much for joining me. Very nice of you. Thank you for joining. A couple of things I want to mention, if that's okay. Excuse me. First one is, again, برای دوستانی که سطح زبانشون مبتدی هست تا سطح متوسط، دوره مکالمه امیدوارم که دیگه آماده باشه برای Black Friday. Black Friday 29 نوامبر هست، درسته؟ من دارم سعی میکنم خیلی خیلی زیاد که این دوره مکالمه Black Friday آماده بشه که یک بهونه خیلی خوبی داشته باشم که یه تخفیف خیلی خیلی خوب بتونم بدم به تمام زبان آموزان. پس اگر شما دوست دارید که فعلا فقط اسم و ایمیلتون رو در لیست انتظار بنویسید، اینجا فقط لطفاً کلمه مکالمه رو تایپ بکنید. مکالمه به زبان فارسی. این کلمه رو تایپ بکنید، اطلاعات یعنی اون لینک مستقیم میاد به DM شما. این یک دوره‌ای هست که الان مدتی من دارم روش کار میکنم. دلیلی که اینقدر طول کشیده به خاطر اینکه حدوداً بین 70 تا 80 تا ویدیو درسی هست و یک دوره‌ای هست که مکالمه داره، vocabulary obviously, grammar, idioms. یه قسمت فقط برای pronunciation گذاشتم، اینو توی دوره های دیگه ندارم. یه قسمت فقط برای pronunciation هست، یه قسمت فقط برای idioms هست راجع به هر درس، یه قسمت فقط برای فرهنگ هست، بعضی چیزایی که باید بدونیم که یه مقدار زندگی راحت تر باشه، یه قسمت فقط برای یه قسمت تست هست که میتونید خودتون رو تست بکنید و جواباش هم که هست. همه اینها کلن دوره، یکی از بزرگترین دوره هایی هست که من طراحی کردم. تا حالا دوره به این بزرگی نداشتم، برای همه اینقدر طول کشیده. ولی این کلمه مکالمه رو اگه شما اینجا بنویسید اطلاعات براتون میاد. فعلا هیچ پولی نیاز نیست که کسی پرداخت بکنه، شما فقط دارین اطلاعاتتون رو وارد لیست انتظار میکنید که یک تخفیف خیلی خیلی خوب نصیب شما بشه. Okay, very good. That's number one. Number two, the second thing I want to mention is tomorrow in podcast 2, there is something that the students will see, people who have got podcast series 2. You will see how in the English language we use opposites when we want to say something. So we don't speak directly a lot of the time. We actually use opposites. If we want to say something like, yes, that's a really good idea, we'll actually say a negative sentence, which means that's a really good idea. Or sometimes, for example, if we don't like something, we're not sure, we're hesitant, we actually use a positive sentence, which means, I'm not sure. So all of this is what I've explained in the podcast session that will be released tomorrow on my website. And this is from podcast series 2. This is obviously for advanced students. All of it's in English. You will have access to the new words, the transcript, the whole video and audio version as well. But that's what the topic is for tomorrow. Okay, very good. Lovely. Right, I'm going to get cracking. I'm going to start straight away on tonight's lesson, if that's okay. If there are any questions, please do DM me and I'll try and get back to you. Okay, I'm trying to be good today and I'm going to try and finish before 7:30. So if there are any questions, I can try and whiz through the questions and see if I can answer any questions. So the topic that we've got for tonight is a really interesting topic. It's something that you have already come across, or you will hopefully come across it in the future, in the near future, hopefully. And that is this: when somebody asks you, tell me about yourself, tell me about yourself. Okay, there are two different situations where you're faced with this question. One is a very serious, very formal setting, and that's when you go for a job interview, or when you want to introduce yourself maybe to a colleague, a boss, you know, a very, very formal setting, especially at a job interview. Somebody says, tell me about yourself. And a lot of people make this big mistake of, first of all, giving their name, and then they give their age. Oh my God, you shouldn't give your age. No. Employers are legally not allowed to ask you your age. The reason why I'm saying this is because I've got to know a lot of students, you know, over the years. I have a little interview with you, or maybe, you know, we have a little chat. And a lot of Iranian people, the first thing they do is they give me their age. Thank you for saying that, but you don't have to. That's very private information. So please don't feel like you have to give your age. We don't like talking about our age at all. And again, legally, your boss is not allowed to ask you your age. Your age obviously will be with HR. They know about it, but legally they're not allowed to ask you unless that job is for a specific age, or they might be worried you look too young to be 18. That's why they might ask you, how old are you? But usually they don't ask. So this is a big mistake some people make in an interview when the boss or the interviewer says, tell me about yourself. Quickly they give their age. We don't want to do that, right? I'm going to give you a few idioms first, and then I'm going to give you a little script that I wrote. I'm going to write all of this in the caption in YouTube so you can see exactly what I'm talking about tonight. So if I go for a job interview and somebody asks me, tell me about yourself, I'm going to start with telling them how I think, or sorry, what kind of a person do I think I am. I can never say I am smart, I am very keen, I'm a quick learner. I can't say it this way because that will come across as being too arrogant. I have to say it in a way that doesn't come across as too arrogant. So this is how I would say it. I'd like to think of myself as, and then you can list all the adjectives you want to list about yourself. I'd like to think of myself as smart. I'd like to think of myself as a quick learner. I'd like to think of myself as an eager person, you know, who constantly wants to learn. I'd like to think, so this is a very nice, very polite way of saying, this is hopefully the kind of person I am, right? So it's a very nice way of saying that. And then you can list all the lovely adjectives about yourself. That's a very important one. Another idiom that I'm going to be talking about in a few minutes is when you hone your skills. What's that word again? Hone. So I'm not talking about home. I'm not talking about home, which is your house. I'm talking about hone. H-O-N-E. N for November. H-O-N-E. Hone your skills. What does that mean when you hone your skills? It means any kind of skills that you have, you're trying to improve those skills to become better. Okay, so if you're a pastry chef, if you're a caterer, or a chef, yes. If you're, I don't know, somebody who is maybe an engineer working in a certain field, maybe you're a delivery person, maybe you're a bricklayer, some form of, I don't know, building worker, you're a teacher, any kind of profession that you have that has specific skills. When you say hone my skills, it means I'm trying to improve my skills as much as I can. The next idiom we're going to talk about is get a solid handle on something. Get a solid, that means strong, handle on something. Get a solid handle on something. It means I have a lot of experience. I really know a lot about this field. And these are really good things to say if ever you're going for a job interview, right? Get a solid handle on something. So these are a few things that I want to talk about. I'm going to read my script for you, and I'll also put it in the caption on YouTube as well. I'd like to think of myself as a go-getter. This is another idiom. Go-getter. Go and then get and then T-E-R. Go-getter, go-getter. What does that mean, a go-getter? A go-getter, it means somebody who sees something, nothing can stop them, they will go and get it, no matter what. It doesn't matter how hard it is, how challenging it is. When I say I'd like to think of myself as a go-getter, that means if I want something, nothing and no one can stop me. So that's a really good quality to have, right? Whenever you want to go for a job interview, to say something like this. So I'd like to think of myself as a go-getter, yeah? I don't shy away from challenges. I don't shy away. Shy away is a phrasal verb. What do you think it means? Shy away. I don't shy away from challenges, from difficulties. Shy away. 2 words, phrasal verb. Shy away. What do you think it means? I don't shy away from challenges. I don't shy away from difficulties. What do you think it means? Shy away. Put that live on YouTube. Yes, definitely. I'm recording it. I'll put it on YouTube. Be scared of, avoid, afraid. Excellent. Very good. Very good. What is the meaning of go-getter? Go-getter, go-getter, go-getter. It means when I see something, I go and get it. That's what it means. I'm a go-getter. So if I want a promotion, for example, nothing and nobody can stop me. If I want that promotion, if I have my eye on that promotion, everybody else, be careful, beware, right? That's what it means. That's the kind of personality I have. That's what we're saying in this text. So I'd like to think of myself as a go-getter. I don't shy away from challenges. That's how we start when we want to introduce ourselves at a job interview, right? So that's a fantastic introduction about myself. Now, a mistake a lot of people make is they say, hi, my name's Layla. I am X years old. I have 2 kids. I live. Sorry, I'm not interested. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how many kids you have. I don't care how far away from the office you live. That's not why you're here to give an interview. These are things I don't care about. I want to know what kind of person you are. I want to know how much experience you have. I want to know if you are suitable for this job or not, right? So we need to format and change our response, right? The next part, we can say, I've spent X number of years honing my skills. I've spent 5 years honing my skills. I've spent 10 years honing my skills. And we said hone, H-O-N-E. Hone my skills. It means working to improve my skills. When I go for a job interview, I want to tell somebody how much experience I have. And instead of just saying, I have over 15 years experience, this makes it a lot nicer. I've spent 15 years honing my skills. 15 years I've spent really trying to improve and build on my skills. So I've got 15 years of experience. That's impressive, right? I've spent 15 years honing my skills in whatever job it is that you've been doing. So I've got a solid handle. I've got a solid handle on what works. I've got a solid handle on what works. That means I know exactly what works and what doesn't work because of those 15 years of experience that I have. Okay. Layla, why are you telling us these things on Instagram Live tonight? I know a lot of you. I've spent 15 years honing my skills. It's me. Fantastic. Thank you. And then hone from Zohrivan Mahsal. Thank you. Thank you. The reason why I'm saying these things, a lot of you might say, Layla, I've already got a job. I don't need this. And you might switch off. That's okay. But I know a lot of you are improving your English because you want to get a job, right? Or you might already be working, but that perhaps is not your dream job. You want to improve your English and then go for that dream job. And these are little phrases, little ways that you can really improve your chance of acing that interview when you go for a job interview. So that's why I'm talking about these things. So I've spent 15 years honing my skills in whatever it is that you do. I've got a solid handle on what works and what doesn't. So I've talked about my experience and everything. Just a tiny bit, I talk about what kind of a person I am outside of work. I'm not a robot, right? I do have a life outside work as well, but that's not the focus of this interview. The focus of the interview is about me, my personality for the job, my suitability for the job, and my experience and my knowledge and expertise. When I've done that a little bit, I want to let them know about what kind of person I am outside of the workplace as well. Yeah. So outside work, for example, and then all the things that you like to do. Outside work, I love reading. I love socializing. I love, I don't know, whatever it is that you love doing. I love traveling. I love anything that you like to do. Yeah. I love being up to date on world events. Yeah. So this is just a tiny bit about the person you are outside of work. They really do like to hear a little bit about that as well. But the very first example that I gave you, when someone comes and sits down, hi, my name is Layla, I've got 2 kids, I live at... No, I'm not interested, sorry. I don't care how many kids you have. I don't care how old you are. Excuse me. So the focus has to be on the fact that I'd like to think of myself as a go-getter. I don't shy away from challenges or difficulties. I've spent X number of years honing my skills in whatever. So I've got a solid handle on what works. You know, I'm trying to constantly sell myself. I'm trying to sell myself. In Farsi, if you translate the idiom sell myself, it might not have a good meaning. It might have a bit of a strange meaning, but we actually do use it in the English language as this idiom. I'd like to sell myself. It means I want to show what kind of a suitable person I am for the job. Lourish 1987, wouldn't you like to bring someone else up? No, not tonight, but thank you very much for asking. Okay, so the title was Tell Me About Yourself. That's one time when we hear this question, tell me about yourself, if I'm going for a job interview. We hear this in a different situation as well, and that's when you've just gone out. You just want to go and socialize. You want to get to know somebody outside of work. You want to let your hair down. It's a Friday night, it's a Saturday night, you've ended up at a club, not a disco club, any kind of book club, cookery club, bricklaying club, any kind of club, golf club, anywhere. You've ended up at a club, for example, or you've gone to, you know, a cafe, bar, restaurant, anywhere, and you have come across this new person and you want to get to know this person, usually we ask, or that person says, tell me about yourself. What kind of a person are you? Yeah. Tell me about yourself. So obviously my answer here is going to be very different. Here, I'm not sitting a job interview. Here, I want to be a lot more casual, a lot more relaxed, and I want to tell this person a little bit about who I am, right? So a little about me. Yeah, for example, for myself, I'm in the field of teaching. Yeah, I'm in the field of teaching. It keeps me on my toes. It keeps me busy. It's what I'm doing all the time. It keeps me on my toes. But outside of that, outside of work, for example, for myself, I'm a keen reader. I absolutely love reading. And if I don't have time to read, I listen to podcasts while I'm cooking, while I'm putting the washing out. I've just washed some clothes. I put them out to dry while I'm folding laundry, while I'm driving anybody around in the car. Times when I can't be reading, I'm listening to podcasts. And this is how I tell that person what kind of a person I am. When they say, tell me about yourself, these are the things we say, right? For example, I'm always on the lookout for great bars and restaurants, yeah, to try new food and new venues. I love going to the cinema, but my favorite all-time passion, my favorite all-time passion. 1 second. All-time favorite. Yes, sorry. من صفت‌ها رو باید درست بذارم. Excuse me. My all-time favorite passion, that means my most favorite thing that I love to do in this world is, and then you tell them what it is. And this is how you're telling that person about yourself, right? So you've ended up at a bar, restaurant, cafe, outside at the park, outside the school where you're picking your kids up, in a waiting room, at the doctor's, at the GP or dentist, anywhere, absolutely anywhere. You want to start a conversation with somebody. Usually it's in quite a happy surrounding, right? Maybe a cafe or restaurant somewhere. And you say to that person, tell me about yourself. Or they say to you, tell me about yourself. It's one of those lovely sentences that we can use with anybody, man, woman, whatever age they are, whatever nationality they are. Tell me about yourself. Okay, so my all-time, Sunny JC, my all-time favorite. That means it's always my favorite. My all-time favorite passion is اشتیاق همیشگیم. Thank you. So I love reading and all these kind of things, but maybe there's one passion I have that's greater than all of these. My all-time favorite passion is painting. My all-time favorite passion is singing. My all-time favorite passion is whatever it is that you really, really like to do a lot. Okay. My all, by my all means, so my all-time favorite, that means it's always my favorite passion. That's basically what it means. Okay. Lovely. You are brilliant. You are brilliant. Thank you very much. معنی فارسی هم بگید. Okay, that's about 14 minutes of English speaking that you want me to translate in Farsi. درس امشب بیشتر راجع به این بود که اگر یه نفر از من بخواد راجع به خودم یکم توضیح بدم، اگر توی اینترویو باشم برای کار، برای مثلا کار رفتن، برای مصاحبه، چجوری میتونم جواب بدم، و در شرایط دیگه اگه توی یه حالت اجتماعی باشم، توی بار، رستوران، کافه، هر جا یه نفر از من بپرسه یکم راجع به خودت برام توضیح بده، چه جور آدمی هستی، چه چیزهایی دوست داری، به چه صورت میتونیم جواب بدیم. Okay, that's basically what the lesson is about tonight. I've always been passionate about teaching, Habib. Okay, good for you. Good for you. It's teaching is, I can actually comment on that because I'm a teacher as well. I can't really comment on other jobs because I've never done them before, but as a teacher, I can comment on that. I definitely have enough experience to talk about that. And I find teaching is one of those professions where I think you put a lot of work in. Obviously, you really put a lot of work in, and a lot of it, I think, first of all, it's not just your teaching and your method that your customer or your student needs to like. They need to like you as a person as well, I think. When I think about my teachers, my professors, and you know, people that I have learned from, I've always been drawn to those people who had a really good type of personality, right? I might have hated their subject, but I absolutely loved them as a person. Maybe I saw a certain quality in them. Maybe I've heard something from them. Maybe I've learned something vital in my life from them. And that's just completely turned me. And I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, I love this person very much. I really respect this person, regardless of how I feel about the subject that they're teaching. Teaching is really, really interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it's just one of those things that I think is very personal. It's very subjective. There's one thing I cannot stand, and that's when a teacher constantly reminds the student that I'm better than you. Oh my goodness, it rubs me up the wrong way, no end. When a teacher keeps reminding the student, you don't know anything. How is it you don't know this? Oh my God, this is so easy, everybody knows this. Or I'm much better than you. You know, I I absolutely hate it when I see that. And you see it in, you know, different situations and different settings. And that's one thing that I really hate. The fact that the student has come to you suggests that they already know that you know more. You don't need to keep reminding them that you know more, you know, and there's only one subject that you know more. There are so many other subjects that the student might know a lot more than the teacher does. So we just need to be a bit careful about that, don't we? Okay. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Very good. Okay. What an interesting and right point. Teacher's character. It is, don't you think? It is. I mean, if you think about other professions, if you think about a boiler, if you think about a plumber, or somebody who wants to come and fix your boiler, you think about a painter decorator, a bricklayer, you think about a carpenter. These kind of people, they come and do the job. If they have a terrible type of personality, you put up with it, right? At the end of the day, as long as the product and the service is good, we are happy to turn a blind eye. Turn a blind eye. Nadide beginim, yeah? We're happy to turn a blind eye. I'm going to write this down. Turn a blind eye. As long as the product is good, the service is good, we couldn't care less about the personality. Believe me, I've been on the receiving end of this that I'm telling you. But certain professions, like maybe a teacher or, you know, certain other professions, I think it's really important for that person, that teacher, that whoever it is, to treat the student with the maximum respect that they possibly can. This student has trusted you to come to you. Instead of all these other teachers, they've trusted you to come to you. And I think that deserves maximum respect. Thank you for trusting me and coming to me. So hopefully I'll be able to show you that I will earn your trust even more. And hopefully when you walk out that door, you will take something with you. You walk in hoping to learn something, and I hope not to disappoint, right? I'm hoping that even if it's 10-15 minutes of your time that you've given me, you're not going to get these 10-15 minutes back. So I hope that I was able to make a tiny dent, a tiny bit of a difference in your life, even for that 10-15 minutes, even if it's just teaching, you know, a tiny little point. I think that's important. I can add that even students learn from classmates. Absolutely. When will this video be uploaded on YouTube channel? So as soon as we're done, and I think we're almost done, it needs to process on my phone. It needs to do all that. And then I will upload it on YouTube, and I will share the link in my story tonight for the YouTube video. You are amazing. You are amazing. Thank you very much. How can we talk about our weakness and strength in a job interview? Dorsa, that is such a good question. Such a good question. Okay, sorry. That I wasn't expecting that. Right, so that just threw me. Sorry, that threw me. That threw me. I'm going to put that in the caption as well in YouTube. Your question, yes, strengths and weaknesses. I've actually looked at several videos from professionals who've talked about this. I don't think there's any one specific formula. There's no right or wrong, but a lot of professionals seem to be pointing at one specific type of answer, and I'm going to share that with you now. With strengths, I always like to go with my strength. Obviously, it is hopefully my personality, the years and years of experience that I have, if I've got any awards, if I've got any outstanding achievements. For example, because I'm a teacher, and I was so lucky. I had such good students at all the colleges that I taught. Salford City College I taught, Macclesfield College I taught, Barnet Southgate College I taught in London. In all of these, I was so lucky. Honestly, every single time I had a fantastic group of students. And this is one of the things that I can say about my strength, is that I was lucky because I had 99% pass in all of my classes. So all of my students passed. That's an achievement. That's a strength, right? So when we're talking about strengths, I think some of it is our personality, but a huge part of it needs to be our achievements. What have we achieved in our previous experience? So that's the strength. The weakness, this is where we need to be careful. One of the weaknesses I always talk about is that I find that I dedicate a bit too much of my time to the job. I'm not saying I'm a perfectionist, because that is a weakness itself, isn't it? A perfectionist. But if something isn't done on time, it starts nagging at me in my mind, and it's something that I can't let go, right? It has to be done by the deadline. And so in that regard, I have very little flexibility. That is my weakness. Now, some people might say, Layla, that's a strength. And some people might say, yeah, that's a weakness. You need to learn to chill. So these are the things that usually I say whenever I go for a job interview, strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. Excellent, excellent. Very good. In interview may ask me that how can you bring passion to the class? So I'm assuming photographer 797124, you're a teacher and you're going for a job interview and you want to know how you can bring passion to the class. The way I do it, all of the years that I was teaching at college, I know a lot of teachers, they take the book with them. Oh, the Bible, right? It's not the Bible. We call it the Bible. It's actually the book. It could be Headway. It could be, I've forgotten the books that they use, English File. It could be any of these books. They take it and it's like the Bible for them. They take it and all they teach, all they do is just teaching from this book, right? When I went to class, I just used the book as a guide, because that student who has come to my class, yes, I want to teach them to pass the exam, but once they've passed the exam, then what? They still need English, right? They might get a fantastic mark in their exam, but that might not help them when they go to the GP to explain what their problem is. It might not help them very much if they want to talk about an issue that their child has with the school teacher. It might not help them if they want to talk to the council about a certain issue that they've got with the bin collection every week, right? So whatever they learn in college, unfortunately, is not always suitable for the real world, the outside world. So one way I would bring passion to the lesson is I would take a little bit of the lesson in the book but I would let the students turn it into a proper lesson. So we'd take the grammar and vocabulary, but then we'd use it in real life situations, examples from the students themselves. And when you see a student is giving you their own experience, their own examples, and they're sharing ideas, that's where the magic happens. The student is interested, they're sharing their own personal experience, they're hearing about other people's real life experience. It's not just about a script that you see on paper. And that's, again, where the magic happens. So that's how I like to bring passion to the lesson, is really involve the students and their experience as well in teaching them the lesson. Students aren't robots, are they? They're humans. So we need to treat them like humans. Okay. We can answer what we believe is correct, and then we should be honest and let them know we need to check it out. I agree with that. I agree with that. GP, yes, sorry, general practitioner. General practitioner or general, yes, general practitioner, GP. پزشک عمومی، پزشک خانواده. Thank you very much. Okay, I've gone over again. As always, I do apologize. Thank you very much for being in this lesson with me. I talked a lot tonight, but this script that I read for you, I'm going to put it in the caption on YouTube, and I will share the link to the YouTube video with you on my story tonight. Do you teach OET? No, I don't teach any of these anymore. I'm sorry. I used to teach IELTS. I used to teach TOEFL. I used to teach anything else. I can't remember any of the other exams. Obviously, all the Cambridge and everything. I used to many days ago, many years ago. Not anymore. Sorry. So I think I've forgotten a lot of the rules and everything. I just teach everyday English right now. So thank you very much for being in this session with me. Again, if anybody has any interest in that mokaleme, just write the word mokaleme for me. If you are watching this video on YouTube, just send me a message in my DM of Instagram. I'll send you the link again, okay? Thank you so much. Lovely to have you. Thank you for letting me in your living room once again. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your weekend, and I'll see you hopefully next Sunday. Okay, take care everybody. Bye-bye.